Hello, thank you for joining me. So in this video, which is our video number 3 on our Spur gear design assignment, this one's going to cover the actual sketching of the pinion gear. So what I did in the previous film was I drew out a diameter out here of a circle, and I'm going to start drawing my sketches that are going to help me represent not only the base of the gear, but more importantly the gear tooth on top. As we talked about, the gear tooth on top has got to be formed in such a manner that it minimizes slippage, that provides a 90-degree angle of pressure from one tooth to another, and yeah, and it will allow the tooth, once it's done its job, to unmesh itself from the gear it's trying to mesh with in order for it to exit without a whole lot of friction and contact. So that's what we're going to be doing. So enough yakety yak, and let's get started. I'm going to do my root diameter. My root diameter is going to be 0.6875. That's already been determined from the formulas I put together. So yeah, we're going to 0.6875. Again, this is a really small gear, so I'm going to go ahead and scoot in on this. You probably want to do this right away instead of doing 3 circles right away. Start with your root diameter. Get a certain perspective on this as you go through it. And let's make sure we go up to 4 significant digits. So we could do that instead of changing these things individually. Let's go to our document properties and go to units and change that from, we're going to keep inch pound second, but for every dimension we put in there, let's go ahead and make sure that it goes up to 4 significant digits. Okay, that's our root diameter. This is going to be the base of our tooth. Base of our tooth. This is going to be the base of our gear, and we're going to build the teeth on top of that. So the next circle, they're going to be just a little bit higher. So remember the second one's going to be your pitch diameter, and the one on top is going to be the outside diameter. Let's turn those into construction lines and go ahead and dimension these. So my pitch diameter is going to be 0.750. Then our outside, or my outside diameter, is going to be 0.8135. I'm sorry, 0.8125. There we go. Those are the 3. Next line. Let's do a horizontal line or a vertical line from the origin up. Arbitrary distance. It doesn't really make a difference. And if you look at page number 2, and we'll go through our document here that I put together, so you can see how this thing goes together. And I'll scroll through this too as I go through the film. So right now we're going to be in page 2. So we've already drawn our outside, our root diameter, our pitch diameter, and our outside diameter. And you notice that I put in some, I kind of rounded things out a little bit here. I would suggest that we still stick with 4 significant digits. And I'll kind of go over a little bit in the way of maybe making corrections to that if we need to do that a little bit later. I think the only corrections we're going to need to make is for our center to center distance on our base feature when we get into the assembly and put our gears together. So what we're going to be doing next is we're going to draw, we've already drawn this vertical line. We're going to draw our quarter angular circular pitch here, which is going to be our mirror line. We're going to draw that thing out. We're going to draw in a pressure line, which is going to be at 20 degrees. After we draw in a horizontal line here at that pitch point, which is going to be the intersection of our pitch diameter and this vertical line here. And from there we're going to draw some additional circles in order to get to the point where we have enough geometry in here that we can start drawing the profile of our teeth. So, center line. Draw this out, vertical. That defines where the pitch point is going to be. Let's draw in our quarter angular pitch. Our mirror line for our tooth profile, which we're going to use later, minus 3.75 degrees. Type that in there. Let's put in our pressure line. Pressure line, the pressure value that we're going to be using for this gear tooth assignment is going to be 20 degrees, and that's standard. There are some other values that can be used too. I think 14.5 is a value that sometimes you see is relatively common, but certainly not as common as a 20 degree value. That here is a standard used today typically. And then once we do that, and you notice that we are now off of page 2 and going on to page 3. What we're going to be drawing next are pitch point diameter circles. The first one's going to be on the right at the pitch point, and then the second one is going to be at the intersection of this circle and our base diameter. So now we've drawn out our pressure line, we need to put in our base diameter. That base diameter is not determined through an algebraic function, but we're going to determine that through sketch geometry. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw a circle from the center of our gear and make that tangent to our pressure line. So let's go ahead and do that next. Circle, draw this out, make that tangent to our pressure line. Let's turn that into construction geometry. And let's draw in our two pitch point circles. Let's go ahead and change that into construction geometry. And the values for my pitch point circles are 0.1875. Now let's draw in a second circle. This circle is going to be at the intersection of our base diameter and the first pitch point circle. And what this is going to allow us to do, finally, is to give us the profile of our tooth. Begin to give us the top profile of that tooth. So let's turn this into sketch geometry. Let's turn that into construction geometry, or construction line, a center line. It's not really a center line, but it's a construction line. Let's make these two circles equal to each other. And now we're going to be able to draw in the first element of our tooth. And this is going to be a arc, a nap point, down here to our pitch point. This point up here represents the very top of the tooth. This is going to be the pitch point, so this is going to be one of the profiles of our teeth. And on the bottom of our tooth down here, we're going to do a tangent arc from that point down to our root diameter. And I'll show you how to do that in our next film.